Roots into Languages is a national project, and it runs in the 9 regions of the country. Obviously, we're representatives of the South West. It's led centrally from the University of Southampton, and the national director, Professor Mike Kelly, couldn't actually be here in person, but he has sent us, Oscar-style, a message to wish us well. So here we are, the national director for the Roots into Languages programme.
Greetings to everybody there in the Taunton Conference Centre. I know you gathered there for the Southwest celebration event on the 4th of May. I'm very sorry I can't be there with you in person, but I did want to send you my best wishes and to congratulate all the team and all the participants in the Southwest. As Director of the Roots into Languages programme, it has been terrific working with the team in the Southwest, and particularly Irene Wilkie, who's done just a terrific job as Director of the consortium. I know she's been assisted by a lot of very committed people, a lot of colleagues from other universities and schools and colleges, and I think you're making a terrific success of it. Southwest Consortium was in fact one of the first to get underway way back in 2007. You really hit the ground running as soon as the funding came through, and you built up the networks and the partnerships over the 4 years or so of Roots into Languages really successfully. Really, as well as working with people you know, you've also made a lot of efforts very successfully to get to know new people, to build new partners, colleagues in other universities and schools. That's a real achievement, and you can really be proud of what you've done. You've also done really a very good job of making contact with the outreach teams in your institutions. These are really valuable, and I think are going to be increasingly important in the future as we try to put Roots on a sustainable basis. Other ways you've distinguished yourself in the Southwest is by making such a huge number of school visits. You may not have added up all the miles together, but they must run into thousands by now. And I know this has been really appreciated. I've seen the feedback forms from schools who've really enthused about this. Pupils in schools really like to see real live people, and you've obviously worked with the student ambassadors who've worked as language tutors in schools. I know you've also worked on video conferencing and distance communication, even with the Isles of Scilly. Now, I know there are significant challenges for you with the rural and the coastal geography and the long distances in the Southwest. I know you've also felt the lack of a Premiership football club, which some other regions have taken advantage of. But when it's come to sporting activities, you have drawn in some teams and some clubs, and I know Bath Rugby Club have been working with you, and that must be a good thing. Obviously, playing rugby while using another language is a great way to take the language outside the classroom and probably learn bits of language that you wouldn't learn in the classroom. The pop video competition is probably the most striking achievement and a real legacy. You've piloted this and it's really something that's gripped the imagination of pupils, and I know you've repeated it again with great success. I can only think that there must be a lot of great talent waiting to get on our screens from the Southwest. You've made some very good friends in political circles, and your MEP, Graham Watson, has worked with you, and I'm sure that in that way we can get the language message across to a wider community. I'm sure that the partnerships that you and others have made with employers and politicians has been a real contributing factor to us persuading the government to continue funding the Roots programme for another year and a half after the end of this academic year. Your MEP, Graham Watson, said to you that the future is international. He was right then, and it's even more true now. So as you celebrate today, let's agree that there are global solutions ahead, and that many of those solutions are with you in the room in Taunton. I'm sorry I can't be there in the room with you in Taunton, but I'm sure you'll have a great day and really celebrate your achievement. You deserve to. All the best to you. Good luck.
Thank you, Mike. Pass our thanks on, Heather, to Mike, please. That's a very nice message to start with. So, what have we been trying to do in the South West? We've been operating in the South West since 2007, and I just want to go through just a few of the activities and the sort of things that we've been doing. What we've been aiming to do, the overarching thing, is that we've been trying to encourage more young people to continue with the study of foreign languages, right? Both at whatever level, Key Stage 4, into A level, and beyond into HE. That's the aim of the project, and also to widen participation, to encourage people who might not naturally have thought that languages were for them to consider studying a foreign language, whether it be as a main subject or whether it be part of their university-wide language programme, just to encourage as many young people as possible to engage with a foreign language. All of the higher education institutions, the universities in the South West, have been involved in this project at some stage. And that is quite an achievement in itself. Instead of being competitors for students, we've actually worked extremely well together, and it's been very enjoyable, as well as, I hope, beneficial to the young people in the South West. So we're very proud of the fact that all of the HEIs in the South West have been involved in this project. As our aim was to encourage more young people to continue with the study of languages, the best way we felt to do that was to target the key transition points, and that's what we've done. We've targeted events at pupils in year 8 and 9 when they're deciding whether to carry on in Key Stage 4. We've done activities for year 11 when they're considering whether to carry on into the sixth form, and we've organised activities for sixth form when they're considering their options beyond school into HE. So that's how we've set about achieving our aim of encouraging more young people to continue with the study of foreign languages. We have focused in the South West quite considerably on careers. Not exclusively, but we have focused on languages for business, which is why we're also pleased that we've got representatives from business here today. That has been something that we felt was very useful to do in the South West, and I'll be saying a little bit more about that in a minute. But I said not exclusively on careers. We have also tried to keep the balance between languages for employability and languages just because languages are fun to learn. It's not just about, fun to speak, maybe not such fun to learn, but they're fun when you can speak them. All right, so we've tried to take both sides of it, the approach to employability, but also languages for language's sake. So that's the sort of philosophy behind what we've been doing in the South West. One of our main activities has been to go into schools and give talks at these key transition points in year 8 or year 9, whenever the schools are doing their options, and in year 11. And I've only put the first 3 years there because we're still part way through year 4, and it has been slightly different the way we've operated. But just to give you an idea, we started in year 1, as you can see, about, I think it was 87 schools. Then by year 2 we were over 120, I think we were at about 130, and then in year 3 we were up to 137. So the demand for our talks in schools has grown, and if you think that most of these talks are reaching about 100 students a time, that's a lot of students that we've actually been able to give the message to about why study languages. So we're particularly pleased with the way that part of our project has been received. We're also very proud of our DVD that we made. Professor Mike Kelly made reference to hitting the ground running, and this was one of the very first things we did. We wanted to get Roots into Languages known out there, and we wanted to emphasise that languages are useful for your career. All schools should have had them. We made copies for everybody, but we have a few left if anybody hasn't got a copy of this DVD, which shows some of the businesses in the South West talking about how languages are important to them. We've organised A-level language days for students doing AS and A-level, and there we've had a lot of support from the cultural institutes, who have nearly always provided us with speakers in French, German, Spanish. We've organised gifted and talented days, because remember, we're aiming across the spectrum. So we've had gifted and talented days, and we've had Aim Higher events, which we've organised in conjunction with widening participation, outreach, whatever it's called, in the different institutions, which is trying to encourage more young people to consider that languages are appropriate for them and that university is appropriate for them. We've done GCSE revision days to help the Year 11s. We've done, for 2 years, and we're organising it again this year, an intensive 2 or 3 day course, depending on which university is running it, to try and help students to bridge the gap a little between GCSE and A-level. So we have intensive courses running for 2 or 3 days where they're just introduced to a different type of study that they will encounter when they move on to their AS or A-level courses. We've also organised our own careers events, as well as supporting schools in their careers events, and parents' evenings as well. Careers evenings, parents' evenings, and very often we're just asked to go along and support schools when they're doing their own events. We've organised 3 competitions in the life of the project. We've organised the pop video, which we're saving till the second half and doing it Oscars style, with the nominations are and the winner is. We've organised a speaking competition, which we're going to showcase. We have one of the winners from one category here in person, and we have from 2 of the other categories on video, so that we can show you what these young people can do, because I think we sometimes underestimate what our young people really can do.